Good afternoon. Today is my day off, but I'm rethinking my week so that I can do regular call outs to you via video, and to date I've managed to do one a day, and I've really enjoyed doing the one a day. I've had a look at a lot of videos, and some people have desks in front of them, all kinds of things. I didn't want anything to come between you and me. To begin at the beginning, when I started this, of course there was nobody responding to me. I just started it because I thought it was needed and wanted. People have been asking me for different things, and as the videos have gone on, you really have been posing me questions and asking me things or saying things in emails to me that I feel that I must respond to. And one of them is about potential. We'll get to hypermobility at the end, but how about we talk about potential? Potential is no good at all. Everybody who joins my yoga teacher training course has got potential. Potential is meaningless unless you do something with it. I remember when I was at school, a number of people in my class were much better at drawing than I was. I was rather intimidated by that until I noticed that they didn't. It came so easy to them that they didn't value what they did. So they never got any better. At a certain point, their potential dwindled away and they just became average because they didn't put the effort in. They just took it for granted. Maybe you've got some gifts that you're taking for granted. A really good question to ask, whether you believe in God or spirit or the universe or whatever it is, what I would ask myself is, what does God want me to do with my life? Or what does Spirit want me to do with my life? Or whatever you believe in, transpose that. What are you supposed to do with your life? And a story comes to mind about a very, very wonderful person that you probably haven't paid much attention to at all. And that is a lady who started the cosmetics empire called Mary Kay. Now, Mary Kay was a very God-fearing person. She lived in Texas. There's a lot of what Australians would call Bible bashers in Texas, and she was one. And her husband left her really early on, and she had to bring up children, and we often find ourselves in that position. And I get quite, not exactly annoyed, but disconcerted when people say, well, I can't do this because I've got children, or I can't do that because I've got children, and I'm on the dole because I've got children. I think, oh, those poor children, that, the images that they're getting is not good. Anyway, Mary Kay had children, and she sold pots and pans from door to door. She liked doing that. She had party plans and all kinds of things, and she was excellent at it. And she didn't just do it by herself, she did it as part of an organization. What she found was that if a male came into the organization, he was always put over her position. She would train them, and then they would be her bosses. Nobody ever thought or considered that she was good enough, even though she was training these guys, hopefully, to be good enough. And when she was in her 50s, I think, a guy came into the organization. She spent a year training him because she was given to understand that he was taking her position, when in fact at the end of the year she once again was passed over. She could have just retired, but that wasn't her nature to do that. What she did was she retired and wrote a book about the kind of organization she would have And her son, who was an accountant by this stage, saw the book and he said, you know, Mum, you could use this as a basis for a business. She'd never thought about that. It was a document. It was a plan. So she decided, okay, I'll give it a go. And when God calls you, you have to take risks. Unlike some of the people who contact me and say, well, you know, I would have done my modules this week, but, you know, you have to understand I've got children. Hello? Or I'm working 2 jobs. I've got 4 jobs. And I still sit here in front of you. Mind you, my children are grown up and I don't have a husband, but I'm still doing it. So Mary Kay had potential, but potential wouldn't move her ahead. She needed to take action. So one evening or afternoon, she was at her usual card game and she was casting around in her mind, and had been for a number of weeks, to discover what kind of product she would want to sell. And she happened to notice that one of the girls in the card group had the most beautiful skin. And she said to the girl, you know, we seem to be aging and you're not. Why is that? And the girl said, well, her father worked at a tannery and she got the lanolin from the hides because she saw that her father's hands and her father's face were much younger than the people who were working in other parts of the tannery. And she put it down to some oils in that lanolin. So Mary Kay said, can you get me a jar? So the lady got her a jar and Mary Kay started to use it. I don't think it would have been terribly pleasant. And anyway, the results were profound. And so people started coming up to Mary Kay and saying, gosh, you know, your skin is really fabulous. So that is how her business started. She took this to a chemist. They tarted it up, put some nice smell in it, and Mary started marketing, and that's where her business started from. But Mary always started her day and her business God first. So one of the primary rules in her business was God came first. For every employee, God came first. And then family came second, and then the job came third. And she applied this to everything that she did. She ended up, I've been to the Mary Kay building, it is ginormous, and multi-storied flash Texas style. And her business is now international, and goodness knows how much money it makes a year, but it all came from that. But when she was a few years into the business, she was about to expand into a fabulous new office and warehouse space. So she was husbanding her money very carefully. And she was at church one day and the vicar said, or the pastor said, we're trying to raise money for a new Sunday school. And this is a call out to everybody in the congregation, because we've been trying to do this for almost a year now, and really we need a big injection of funds. So please reach deeply and help us in this. And Mary Kay felt the urge to stand up and say, whatever you raise today, I will give the same amount. If you raise $100, I will give $100, etc. Anyway, she didn't hear from the minister for about 2 weeks, and then one night there was a knock on the door, and there was the church board, and they came in and they said, we've all come together because a situation has arisen and we wanted to make sure that you weren't offended or that you understood exactly what we're doing, but we want to give you the opportunity to withdraw your offer. We know that you're expanding your business. We know how you are because you've been a long time member of the church. And Mary Kay said, well, why would that be? And they said, well, we raised $165,000. And we know that at the moment you probably can't afford $165,000, so we're willing to have you withdraw the offer. And Mary Kay said no. No. God told me to say that. I felt empowered to say that. And so I don't think you can outgive God. So I am standing by my pledge, and let's see what happens. And anyway, a week or so after that, her son gave her a call from LA. He was studying in LA, some accountancy degree or other. And he said, you know, a rather surprising thing has happened. Years ago when you started the business, people were giving money because they wanted to help you. And remember that fellow who gave you some paper for shares in an oil company? And it was way out somewhere and it never looked like it would do any good, and so you haven't paid much attention to it. But he said, I've just received a check because that oil well, it's come home. It's fabulous. And Mary Kay said, how much is the check for? And he said, oh, well, it's quite a big check. It's for $165,000. So guess where the $165,000 went? It went to honour Mary Kay's pledge at the church. You can't outgive God. You know, whatever you make of this story that I'm telling you, I think it's really important in your own life that you prepared to risk when you hear the word or when you feel it's the right thing to do, and then not go back on it and just leave God to work it out. It doesn't mean you have to sit on your hands, because she certainly didn't. She was working on her potential every day, just the same as I work on my potential every day, and hopefully you work on your potential every day. But please, don't think that you can't do a yoga teacher training or belong to the circus or whatever it is that you want to do while you have children. Children are the reason why we do those things. Children are the reason why we stretch ourselves that little bit more, why we learn to be better, and show children that we can be adventurous and take responsibility and honour our promises and all of those things. That's where the Yamas come into it. We can still be a part of the world and live by the Yamas. We can still be part of the world and put God first. It's important that we do that. Oh, it'd be real easy to live in a monastery or on a hill somewhere and sort of get somebody who gets up in the morning and looks after you, and you toddle down to the shala and do that. But no, it's really important that you live up to your potential. And when I give you work to do in the modules, I'm asking you to live up to your potential. When I say please do a drawing, I haven't said if you'd like to do a drawing and you feel empowered to do a drawing, could you possibly make the effort to do one? And if you don't do one, that's okay. No, I didn't say that. In my modules, I say do a drawing. Do a drawing of a studio, or do a drawing of the anatomy, or do a drawing of this or that. It doesn't say download it. It says do a drawing. And sometimes a drawing takes consideration. You have to know what you're doing in order to draw it. When I'm going to draw an angel, or recently I did the Turin Charade and things like that, I had to research. And then I had to do little thumbnail sketches, and then I had to write about it. And when I'd done all that, I was ready to do the drawing. So if it doesn't come easy to you, be thankful. It doesn't come easy to anybody. Someone said to me, I'm at peace with the fact that I can't draw. Well, goody for you. But you're still going to have to draw for me, because it's part of the program. Those people who think, can I download pictures of asanas? No. I've asked for stick figure, and that's what I want, stick figures. I've shown you how to do stick figures in my teacher training videos, so do them. I'm not trying to be awkward, I'm trying to get you to take responsibility. You join this course, you do the course. I love you, but I want you to do the course. And just because you've got another job or some jobs, don't think you can't. How many jobs have I got? 4. I do the YouTube video. That's a bit of a job. I teach yoga for how many classes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 or 14 classes a week. I do 13 or 14 classes a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. And I also do volunteering. That's a number of hours per week. Okay, and I paint. That also takes up time. So there we are, 4 jobs. But I still get time to mark your papers. I still get time to study. I still get time to do courses of my own. I don't say, well, I'm doing this so I can't do that. I just make sure that everything is leading down the one path. That everything I do assists me to be better for you and better for myself. And that my kids would be adventurous and try wonderful things for themselves and not be put off by the I can'ts. So I guess we've overshot our time with regards to hypermobility, but I thought it's really important at this time of the year to get you sorted out so that you can plan your year for the new year. Don't just let it happen. Plan it and organise what you're going to do and what you're going to achieve, and then walk down that path. If it doesn't happen exactly, that's okay. Things rarely happen exactly, but at least you've got a plan. And then what you do is you put it on the fridge. Somewhere you pass it every day. It's so you don't forget it or talk yourself out of it. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to do some bit of carpentry and a bit of cleaning and a bit of this and that on my day off. Maybe that's another job. I don't mind how many jobs God gives me. I can do them. Remember what it says in Chronicles. Lord, bless me indeed, enlarge my shores, which will give me more to do. Always be with me. Because when God gives you something, you get the lot. Keep evil from me. That means don't palm what you've been given to do off onto somebody else. Do it. You asked for it, now do it. And the best line in the whole little prayer is, and God answered his prayer. That's a prayer of Jabez. I think it's Chronicles 4:9, I think. I'm sure you'll pull me up on it if it's not. Oh, by the way, I'm told that the video for Satya didn't arrive on your machines. So obviously I've made an error there, but I have it somewhere tucked away and I'll put it up for you. Okay? Have a lovely night. Think about what I said. Make notes and enjoy your yoga. Namaste. What a beautiful day.